It'd work a little better if I was not muted, but because of that, now we're straight into it here. Welcome back to Valpo Esports here on Twitch. We've got our first game of the MVC season happening against Indiana State due to that winter storm, the whole Midwest experience. Our first game was against Evansville, but they got about a foot of snow from what we heard. So that one got rescheduled. It actually will be played after this, but a little bit of a different roster than you're used to seeing here. We're gonna have Jank and Street Fair, who were part of that NECC championship team in the fall, but Master Seb, who is in chat, graduated, leaving us. So we actually have the possibly Valpo Esports GOAT, Cheetah Quick 9, CQ9, who has been the glue guy for basically every single team filling in here. I know they've got a little bit of a rotating door at the moment with the third player. There's also a possibility, and there's a great attempt from Street Fair, filling in kind of last second CQ9 and taking over the helm of the third player. Going to be starting. I think they have Hampter as well from the Overwatch team possibly in there. I mean, you expect it to be a little bit of a two-man show between Jank and Street Fair, and that one, unfortunately, gonna fall in and give Indiana State the lead 1-0. But gonna have to see what they could do. Indiana State, actually a team we played in the NECC in the fall, taking that series. I think that might have went Game 7. I believe one we were up early at. Good kickoff off of Jank, off of the miss from Indiana State, able to get the dunk. Gonna see the strategy probably be a lot different. You're probably not gonna see the same gameplay style out of Jank and out of Street Fair just because they don't have Master Sep to fit in. There's been minimal practices. That one might fall in. Cowboy Dan gonna find it though, and B-Step with a clear out. Street Fair on the sidewall, volleys it back. Not on target, but very low boost for Indiana State. Cowboy Dan's gonna grab that pull and actually be used demoed. Jake and B-Step both with CQ9 on the ball, put it in the corner. I'd love to see them utilize CQ9 as a bit of a wrecking ball, Telling him that it is okay if you miss the ball, typically, as long as you hit the player. That one, though, gonna line up here for Citrus Mario, who, if I don't think was in the matchup in the fall, so possibly a new player there for Indiana State as well. MVC is a little different than if you joined us in the fall for any of those games. Those were all best of 7s. This is only going to be best of 5s for the time being. I think there's a possibility at the LAN, if we do get there, that those games do become best of 7s. It actually might just be in the championship. Street Fair and CQ9 gonna both jump for that, gonna get a piece of it. Mario has the ball here, minimal boost, just try to keep it in the corner, get an awkward touch, and that will be enough to set up Cowboy Dan. Jank just not gonna be able to get back to that one. Just one last touch there. Jank a little too far forward, not able to get up to that ball and cover it. 3-0. Indiana State does have the lead with about half of the game remaining. Jank will gain possession. Actually, Cowboy Dan will beat him there. Good 50 block out of Jank. B-Step up a little early, possibly giving Valpo an opportunity. Mario gonna have to make the save. Valpo's had plenty of opportunities. There's a double commit though, and that's what's gonna be a struggle because the practice has not been, there just hasn't been as much practice time so far, but that's a good touch out of CQ9 to get that ball there. Good bump. Jank should have some free time with this. Gonna put it off the backboard to himself. Cowboy Dan will shut it down fast, but you just have to assume Jank and Street Fair are gonna have to play a little more passive at the moment. The caliber of player is not going to be at the same level that Master Seb was. They're not going to be able to rely on as much and, as few communication and just kind of, trusting in your team. It's going to take a little bit. The chemistry's not there yet. CQ9 is still an Overwatch player. Rocket League is just to fill in at the moment. All of the skill is at Overwatch, and it's Smash Bros for CQ9. So just going to have to trust. I'd still love to see them utilize CQ9 as a bit of a demo bump machine. Play a little bit of a two-man game. Hopefully CQ9 can kind of open something up there, and that will be one. A little two-man action between Street Fair and Jank. Street Fair putting it off the corner, and Jank putting that one in the back of the net. A bit of a miss from Mario. Cowboy Dan definitely not expecting that. Let's Jank sneak it in. So first goal of the MVC season, the 2026 season for Valpo right there. And B-Step's going to be first to this ball, but has minimal boost. So Street Fair should shut that down pretty easily. Cheetah Quick 9 going to be first to it, puts it center. Street Fair's going to have an opportunity. Cowboy Dan will save that, and it will clear pretty far. Jank will be first to the ball, but everyone will be closing. That cut actually just opens it up, and we've got a one-goal game here with a minute remaining, just under a minute, 56 seconds. But what a cut out of Jank. I think that was B-Step just not reading that cut a little too sharply. We've got a one-goal game. Valpo was down 3-0 at the beginning, or with half of this one remaining. That's a great kickoff. B-Step will be first to this ball, and it's going to be on CQ9 to make the save. It doesn't get the touch. I don't think Street Fair is going to be able to get back to it, unfortunately. Yeah, play a little bit of twos and send him on a demo mission. I think this will get better as the season goes on, and CQ9 gets some more reps. CQ9 is not brand new to Rocket League. It's more of dusty off, shake it off the rust there a little bit for the time being. I'm not sure if they'll bring in their sub in this next game or in any of the games. We will see. CQ9 tries to go for it, just misses the connection there with Jank, and it looks like Indiana State's kind of trying to run the clock out. Because Cowboy Dan had plenty of boost, and they had a 3-on-1 opportunity, and that kind of bites teams a little bit sometimes. CQ9 and Street Fair both up for that. Cowboy Dan, though, not going to make a touch. Valpo has an opportunity, probably going to need to score here. Jank's up into the air with full boost. Mario's going to shut that down. CQ9, though, going to put it off the corner. It'll come central. Double commit out of Indiana State, and I don't think there is going to be enough time here. Indiana State will take the first game of that series, but all things considered, I'd say that was a little closer than even I expected going into that first one. Not sure if they will choose to put their sub in. He is in the lobby. Jank had 2 goals in that one. 4 shots apiece, though, for Jank and Street Fair, which is as many as Indiana State had across the board. So the opportunities were there, just had to find the back of the net. But we should just be getting back into this one. Looks like Valpo is kind of talking it over, just going over some strategy, obviously, because it's not the... It's just going to take a little bit, right? I think because we have a maximum of 10 games tonight, we're going to see as the games go on, we're going to see them get closer and Valpo get better. Everyone's ready to up. I'm not sure why it hasn't taken us into the next match. Hopefully Rocket League didn't go down on us. But going into that, a little thing, well, maybe it just came back. Never mind. I can't show you what I was going to show you. I am alone today, if you haven't noticed. No Blake. Blake's working on projects. Senior in your last semester there. Indiana State, though, in the lead 1-0. Jank could have an opportunity here. I think they're going to have to do a little less aerial play, be a little more cautious on the things that are going to keep you out of the play for a long time. Just at the moment until they kind of get CQ9's feet under him. There's a good look. Get it centered by Street Fair, and Jank will come and cut in here. Has some low boost, though, so I think he needs to kind of bail out. Street Fair, though, up for this. But like that, when Master Sep was on the team, I feel like that's probably something they're going for. Not an optimal touch there by Cheetah Quick 9, but will be manageable. I think that kind of probably threw the rest of the team off. Good demo by Jank onto Cowboy Dan, and this one's an opportunity. Jank with the shot. Mario has the save, but I mean, Valpo's been all offense in this game. Cowboy Dan with a bit of a miss. B-Step will collect minimal boost. Street Fair has 34 and will actually get this full and be able to transition this. That's a great backflip. Gonna go to the air. The ball got a little away from him there, but still a good opportunity. Cheetah Quick 9 will throw it off the side wall to Jank, who puts it in the corner. Cowboy Dan has the ball, but minimal boost. Jank looking for some disruption here. CQ9 and Jank running into each other. But the boost, not in a terrible spot. Cowboy Dan actually kind of pulled that one out and saved Valpo a little bit. I think Mario had a shot opportunity. Ball pinch, lands on Street Fair. Full boost, ball 50 and goes straight up in the air. CQ9 gonna get beat by Dan to that one. Dan has no boost though. Will 50 through Jank. Ball lightly pinched into the corner, and Dan's gonna collect that full boost, which will be a little rough on Valpo. Jank gonna need to try to get this one out and buy Street Fair and CQ9 a little bit of time to reset. We're approaching 3 minutes left in the game. No one has scored yet. I'd say Valpo has spent the majority in the Indiana State half. If there's a double commit, no one touches the ball. Scramble back, Jank somehow gets the save. But they are just kind of stuck in the net. There's a flip reset. Jank and Cheated Quick 9 will combine for a clear out, and that's a great 50 by Street Fair. The Indiana State boost is pretty low, and they're kind of on their own half. Jank, though, not going to be able to get to this one, so it's going to have to be a save here on a CQ9 or Street Fair. Will be Street Fair, will get the 50, will collect the full boost, but Valpo's kind of all jumbled up in this corner. Good beat by Street Fair, though, to get the pressure relieved and get us out. Yeah, Master Seb, go ahead and enroll in your Master's program right here at this moment. We'll make a call, get you in the lobby. But Indiana State maybe with an opportunity here. Good clear by Jank, but they've kind of just been took down into this corner, and just Indiana State kind of feels like they're tightening the grip a little bit, starting to boost starve a little bit. Jank looking to throw some fakes in there. Good opportunity at net. B-step barely makes the save, throws it off the bar and out. Street Fair with a good opportunity up into the air, and Jank will put it in the back of the net, and Valpo will take the lead in game number 2. Great opportunity there. We're on CQ9's point of view, which is kind of funny because he wasn't exactly involved in that play, but gonna be able to find the back of the net, which is what they needed in game number 2. What they really needed for this MVC season is to see themselves take a little bit of a lead, because no one's really been sure what's going to happen. Jake's going to have another opportunity here. Going to have the 50 with B-step. CQ9's going to get the bump here, so I think Street Fair should be first to this ball. Will go up, but it's going to pinch out center. Jake's going to have to be first, just going to throw one at Mario to make it a little awkward. Jank is dead at the moment. Oh, he will respawn on defense and kind of be able to clear this one out. CQ9 probably not going to go up in the air for that, but that is fine. The flip reset out of B-step is there. Not going to fight anything. CQ9 looking for the clear. They opt for a back pass, and that was a great find out of Cowboy Dan. Unfortunately, Indiana State not able to put that one in. B-step with full boost. Going to go up early for this. It goes right to Jank on the sidewall, though, so not going to be what they're looking for clear-wise. Jank should actually be able to find this and keep it going. Street Fair, though, probably not going to have an opportunity to shoot. Will find one, tries to go back post with it. Not enough time. But Valpo only needs to hang on for 1 more minute. This is going to be wide, and Jank should know that, but needs to be ready for this. Yeah, Street Fair with a big clear. B-step has boost. We'll throw it off the backboard, which is really risky because this is going to be an opportunity for Valpo. We'll go off the sidewall. CQ9 with a huge touch there to send it to the other side of the field and blow even more time. Street Fair's up, but I think he's going to miss this one. Yeah, we'll get the bump and allow Jank the clear. And that's on target. Indiana State will have to answer. Cowboy Dan throws off the sidewall here, and I'm not sure who's back. It's CQ9. It's off the side. Oh, and Street Fair made that a little impossible, unfortunately. Threw that one in for Cowboy Dan. I'm not sure if CQ9 would have made the save. It was going to the left, but definitely not savable, unfortunately, off of that one. Just something they're going to have to work on. CQ9 should be first to this ball. We'll get the bump and throw it into Indiana State's half. And there's a little bit of a miscommunication, and Street Fair's actually just going to benefit from it and be able to put that one in with 20 seconds remaining. Great bump by CQ9. There we go. That's what I've been talking about. And then Cowboy Dan and B-step kind of running into each other there. Makes this a 1-goal lead again for Valpo in game number 2. In this best-of-5 series that Indiana State leads 1-0. Delayed kickoff for Valpo there. They'll opt to pass, but Street Fair gets a little bit of a Justin spawn. Perfect spawn, yes. Park the bus, 10 seconds. Make Indiana State have to go all the way. Jank and CQ9, though, both commit, and I don't think Street Fair's going to be able to get there. It's a miss on the first shot, but it works out in Indiana State's favor. I think Jank needed to not go up for that. You got to recognize the situation. There's 8 seconds left. You have 20 boosts. It's your brand new player who's a bit of a fill-in sub there playing at the moment. Leaving him alone on defense was not going to be the key to success. There's 2 seconds here. This is going to be dangerous. Jank just needs to kill this one and get a little bit of a better kickoff here. Will be Street Fair on the kickoff. Go for that. CQ9 with the cheat up. Not going to be first there. Actually will get a good touch. This will allow Jank to clear the ball out into the Indiana State corner. And goes for another touch. Not able to get it, but will secure their boost. That's the huge thing here. CQ9 with a little bit of a distraction. Will get demoed for that. But, or was that, maybe that was Jank that got demoed. Bit of a miss there by B-Step, but running some interference, and no one's touching the ball. Street Fair clears it up, looking to just get behind this one, stay central, and 50 it out. CQ9 with a miss. This one's a little off target, but Jank will make the save, pinch it out. That's going to be a very lazy shot into the center, but it gets a double commit. And if Valpo continues to double commit here on defense with no boost, it will get rough. B-Step's not going to have another touch. Jank will be first to that one and kind of relieve the pressure a little bit. Mario has about 50 boosts, looking to hopefully collect the center, and CQ9 with a good touch will force it out, kind of force Indiana State's move, and they're all in this corner. No one's up for this. Jank's not going to be there for the shot, though. Will have the 50. It's going to be boost and ball for B-Step. We'll have to troll with it. Looks to go up. Pops it over one, and that's another beat. There's only one man back for Valpo right now. It's Jank. He knocks it into the corner where CQ9 is. CQ9, though, falls off the wall. Luckily bailed out by Street Fair, and that's a good 50 from Jank. We're a minute and 20 seconds into overtime here, and it's back and forth. That miss was dangerous. Mario, though, not fully trusted his teammate to make the touch. There to clean it up. CQ9 looking for a little bit of a 50 in front of the net. Street Fair and Jank both back, both have plenty of boost, and this will actually just be a free clear out. I like that decision to not commit for that out of Jank. A little better than what we were seeing in some of the earlier stuff. You know, he's kind of the guy they would always let go for it in the fall, and I think he got bumped. Oh, we couldn't see it. I'm pretty sure he got harassed here by Cowboy Dan. Or by B-Step. It was by B-Step. Cowboy Dan put it in, and just not going to be able to find anything. That's really rough there for a game that was probably Valpo's to win a few different times. But the series is not over. Not yet. They still have at least one more game. Valpo, though, going to have to look for the reverse sweep. I don't know if they'll see a swap in players coming in for Valpo, but they might. I'm not sure. CQ9, I think, definitely had a better game, more of an impact in that one. Definitely hit the ball more, had a save. I think it was just a bit of a mistake and a bit of a falling back into the same, you know, muscle memory patterns. You know, Jank typically going up for that one when there was a 1-goal lead, 2-1, with very little time. It's not the end of the world, but with this new roster still forming and CQ9 just being a bit of a fill-in at the moment, you just got to play a little more passive. You got to park the bus, like Master Seb said, and unfortunately that isn't what happened. So does let Indiana State tie it up and finish it. Cowboy Dan actually had all 3 goals there in game number 2. Going into game number 3, we will see. Yeah, CQ9, they're just going to stick with it. So not sure if the other sub will get any playing time, possibly in the next game with Evansville. But we are into game number 3 in this best of 5. Indiana State leads the series 2-0. And Jank gonna have a great opportunity here. One more touch, not able to really flip the ball up or go for any kind of reset. CQ9 not gonna have a touch there. Double 50 out of Street Fair, but will get demoed. So this is gonna be Indiana State's ball. Awkward bounce though for Cowboy Dan, so not gonna be able to do much with that. The ball, I'd say for most of the game too, was in Indiana State's half. Alpha was on offense. Jank had 6 shot attempts alone, but they just weren't able to find the back of the net, unfortunately. So gonna have to see someone, whether it's Street Fair, you know, maybe lock it down on the defensive half, playing a little more safe, or Jank maybe opening up the offensive arsenal and they just kind of let him chase the ball and do what he wants. Gonna have a flip reset there for B-Step, but not an angle to make anything dangerous out of it. Mario will catch that clear attempt from Jank. Street Fair pops it up central. Cowboy Dan probably has the double there, not gonna be able to find anything. Will land in net as well, so gonna be out of this play for a while. Valpo, though, not able to really make much out of it. B-Step throws it down to Mario, who's going to miss. This will give Jank plenty of time with the ball. Will get bumped, though, so at least CQ9 alone on defense, and unfortunately will not be able to handle it. Not ready for that. Probably not expecting the bump. That was a weird camera glitch there. Indiana State will find the 1-0 lead in this game. Number 3 in the best of 5. Good kickoff for Indiana State, going really in their favor. Jank with a clear, though, and it will go over to B-Step, who's just going to have to try to collect the boost and bring it back. Jank is off the ceiling really quick, and here's going to be an opportunity. No one there for Valpo. Cowboy Dan with a bit of a clear. CQ9 will be first to it, will miss, and then the demo comes through, and I'm not sure anyone's going to be back. Yeah, that's rough. That the ball here, I think Cowboy Dan was probably expecting CQ9 to make a touch there, and then ended up running into Street Fair once there was no touch that came through. This is a 2-0 lead with 3:25 remaining for Indiana State, and they're threatening again already. Cowboy Dan up in the air, and I mean, it has been all offense, all Indiana State in this game number 3. That one might go in. It would go off the post, or off the crossbar, excuse me, and out, but that would definitely have an opportunity. CQ9 will get demoed. Street Fair and Jank looking to clear this one out, but Mario just knocks it down, has a shot on net, will hit the bar, and won't go in. Another opportunity. B-Step sends it high. CQ9, though, his touch is not going to be optimal. And that will be a third goal for Indiana State with 2:52 remaining here on series point. Jank will have the kickoff for Valpo against B-Step. Will win it, but Mario's going to be first to that boost. Street Fair going to opt to wait and go in the air. Good save by CQ9. Bought Valpo plenty of time to get back there. Jank going to have to clear into the corner. That full boost not there, though, was taken by Indiana State. And that's been a major theme in game number 3. Valpo's had no boost to work with and not been able to play up in the air where this ball has been above the crossbar for most of the game. That one's going to be floated. Won't, I think it contacted the ceiling, but it didn't really do anything. Jank going to have to clear out. Does get the pinch, but Cowboy Dan's waiting. Good demo by Street Fair to hopefully alleviate some pressure. That's not going to be an opportunity out of Cowboy Dan, but Mario's just there to clean it up and scoop it up. Out of boost, Valpo, though, not exactly aware. Good beat by Street Fair, but they just can't get past this halfway mark. A demo out of Cowboy Dan onto Street Fair will put Indiana State back on offense. Good opportunity, and CQ9 will find the back of the net in game number 3. Good dunk out of Jank here. Not even really a dunk, just kind of got the ball tossed to him, but CQ9 cuts the lead to 2 with 1:55 remaining here in game number 3. Valpo seemed to have a little bit of life left in them. This one's, though, going to be on CQ9. Will get the touch needed. Going to have the opportunity to be the first to that one. Not going to get there in time, but Jank actually just going to use Mario to clear that ball. Cowboy Dan pitches off the ceiling. It's not going to be dangerous at all. Indiana State does not have the boost to continue this attack, but that's a huge dunk. Jank, though, going to look to clear it out. A double commit out of Indiana State. CQ9 gets bumped, but Street Fair will be free with this ball, and poor Street Fair cannot catch a break. Demoed on repeat in this game, and maybe that's something Indiana State identified. To remove Street Fair off the field would be beneficial. Jank gonna look for the musty, not able to find it, but able to get the ball down into the corner. Street Fair finds something. Jank steals the boost. He's gonna have a shot opportunity. Unfortunately, had to get a bounce when it was coming down, and that goes right into Cowboy Dan. But Valpo's got plenty of offensive opportunity, and B-Step hits the corner of the goal, goes flying, and we will see Valpo put their second one in. I mean, that should have been saved, but B-Step a little too close to the backboard there. That lip where the backboard and the floor meet in the goal. If you catch it at all, it will send your car flying, and you do not get much option with what happens next. Jank will win the kickoff, but Cowboy Dan's going to be first to the mid boost to have this ball up in the air. Jank off the backboard. CQ9 up as well. Going to be a shot out of Mario. Jank should have the save. Street Fair with a good bump. This is going to be an opportunity for Valpo. Doesn't have much boost, but going to clear it out. Jank looking for the little skim. Not going to find anything. This ball is going central. CQ9 up in the air, and I think it actually threw Cowboy Dan and Jank off a little bit with the miss. Street Fair, though, first to the ball, no touches, B-step, looking to clear it out. We'll get it around Jank. Good touch out of CQ9 to keep this one in. Mario is up, has plenty of boost, but will get 50. This one's coming central a little bit for Street Fair. Not going to be there. CQ9 not going to make the touch here. This leaves Jank in a 1v2 alone. Street Fair is scurrying back. Valpo needs a goal to extend this series. There's about 10 seconds left. Street Fair is going to be first to this ball. Will get the 50. It's going to bounce in front of the net. Jank not able to bully the ball through. CQ9 runs into Street Fair, and that's going to just get floated at the net. And Jank's not going to be able to get back to that one. And that should do it. 2 seconds, 2 goals. I don't even think it's actually possible to score, unfortunately. 2 goals in 2 seconds. Valpo just so close to bringing it back in game number 3. It had the lead in game number 2. They actually won't touch it, and I don't know if that goes in, if there was 1 second left, or if that is something that they could have kept going or what, but yeah, it's like if you're silver in Overwatch and having to play with GMs. That's the comparison for CQ9, unfortunately. But I'm not sure what they'll try in game or in their second series. That's supposed to start at 7. If you're tuned in, we may start a little sooner based on how the Missouri State Evansville game is going. Just depends. Yeah, on to Evansville next. But a great showing out of the 3. There's flashes there. And that was a tough matchup. I don't think that was the exact same roster from the fall. I think part of it was maybe two out of the 3. So they may have also lost somebody or couldn't have someone play. But I think there's plenty of potential there. Yeah, at least one was diff. I don't remember the name Mario. I think Cowboy Dan and B-Steps were the same. Those sound familiar. So different roster there as well, but it's definitely doable. I think they've proved to themselves a little bit that it's definitely winnable. Just going to be a little bit different in the decision-making process than it was last year for Jank and Street Fair. They're going to have to get used to CQ9 as a teammate, just like Master Seb and Jank kind of at the beginning had to get used to Street Fair in the fall. So we're going to cut out here, and then I'll be back, I believe, by myself when the Evansville game is starting. So keep your phone on you. Stay tuned in. We'll be back sometime between now and the next 30 minutes. We will go live with that Evansville series. So I will see you then.